Now, I suddenly thought I should really explain to you why I wanted to do the lettering first, and why I did it upside down. If I turn that into objects by clicking on that top button, you'll see the first thing that stitches is my word Easter. Second thing that stitches is my word happy. And that's exactly how I want it to happen. Because the third thing that I want to stitch is this little stalk here. And the jump from here to here is manageable. The other reason I wanted my letters to stitch first is because when you digitize, if you digitize a fairly large area of fill stitching, which is what this is, the push-pull effect will distort your fabric. And no matter how carefully you align your lettering as you digitize, when it comes to stitching the lettering, it's going to be affected by the stitching that you've done here. So you do your lettering first. That way you have far more chance of having a straight line of lettering where you want it. Explanations over. I want to go and pick up my Satin turning angle tool, which is the top icon on the manual punch tools. And if I click the little black corner, the flyout comes out, and that's the tool that I want. And I'll give you a very quick view of how this tool works. And I'm going to go into setup. I'll change my background color outside the hoop to cream so as you can see what I'm doing. I'll make that cream. Okay. There we go. And I'll also increase the magnification because I really want you to see. I call this the ladder tool because I'm going to build a ladder. I lay a node. That's node number 1. Now, I can take my second node to the right, to the left, to the top, to the bottom, off at an angle. Doesn't really matter. What I must do is I must keep my sequence correct. So I'll take it off at an angle. And I don't want to go too wide, so I'll make it about 5. Okay, and that's node number 2. So this side is number 1. Node number 3 must go the same side as node number 1. Node number 4 must go the same side as node number 2. Now, can you see my ladder is beginning to take on a ladder shape? That's my first side, second side, first side, second side, first side, second side, and so on. Doesn't matter what direction I take, I have to keep those nodes so as that side 1 is always the odd number. Side 2 is always the even number. I'm going to enter that, highlight it, reshape, go in and turn this node into a circular node. And I just tap my toolbar, my space bar for that to happen. And I don't like the angle that I've got on that one, so I just moved that one. And that's made some room for the stitches. And I'll move that one a little bit. That's a bit better. That makes that curve less lumpy. And I'm going to change that one to a round one. And to do that, I left click on it to highlight it. And I hit my space bar. Except I've just laid another node in there, which I didn't intend to do. So I'm going to delete that one. Insert a right mouse node. That's better. I didn't land directly on it when I highlighted it. Okay, so that's how the tool works. You lay your first node, which is where the diamond is. You lay your second node, and you always make certain your odd numbers are on the same side as your first node you laid, and your Even numbers are on the other side. Now, I'll show you very quickly what happens if you don't. Right, node number 1, node number 2. So that's side 1. Node number 3, node number 4. And you can see what's happening. Now, had I chosen a different stitch, and I'll highlight that, and I'll go to Object Details, Fill Stitch, Contour, and I tell this, and keep my mouse depressed, because I don't know if you noticed, I didn't move my mouse, the program did. I'm going to put it up to 2. And then I'm going to sit on here, click on it. I still haven't lifted my mouse. I drop the length of my stitch to 2. Okay, now I've released my mouse button. I'm going to tell that OK. Using a stitch like the contour fill stitch is great because I can deliberately make my nodes go to the wrong side. For instance, node 1, node 3, node 5. And I end up with this kind of effect. But if I had that as a satin fill, that would have been a no-no. Okay, I'm going to delete that. I'm going to delete that. And we'll go back to our hoop, and we'll bring down the magnification because it's far too high at the moment. And we'll start here. And I'm going to take my magnification up to 300. And to do that, I drop down to 150, and I click on the magnify, because that doubles whatever I have in that box.